everyone, welcome to year 2 of my annual Spyro month, where every September I talk about everything Spyro related because Spyro's name starts with an S. That's when the first game came out in September 1998, followed by the reignited trilogy, which was September 2018. Now we all know at this point how Spyro 2 changed up the formula from the first game. Instead of being thrown into a level with just collecting stuff, you meet NPCs and help them solve their problems for their world, and you do challenges for a collectible while doing so. Year of the Dragon follows suit with that, but when it comes to collectibles, it's kind of split between the first game and the second game. The first game because you can find eggs lying in a random place like the dragon in the first game, and other eggs you can get from completing a challenge like in Ripto's Rage. However, for some newcomers and even longtime fans of the series, some of these challenges can really get under your skin. So I thought to start off Spyro month this year, I should go through the reignited trilogy 1% all over again, and make a top 10 of what I think are the worst orb and egg challenges from Spyro 2 and 3, but before you start, let's lay down some ground rules first. First of all, I'm going to be using footage from the reignited trilogy because they're basically the same games from PS1 to PS4, and also they just look better and play better, and in some cases, the orb or egg challenges can be even more difficult than the original because something the developers messed up. Second, I'm going to be only sticking to the challenges from Ripto's Rage or Year of the Dragon because I haven't played any game up past that, so no Enter the Dragonfly or Hero's Tale since I have no experience with those games yet, and I don't really know what challenges are in those games. Third, I won't be including bosses like Gulp from Spyro 2 or Spike from Year of the Dragon, but if said boss has an egg or orb you can get out of it like the Rhinoc fight from Spyro 3, then it will be counted, but everything else, no. Fourth and most importantly, please remember that this is mostly my own opinion, so there will be missions that you don't have a problem with that I find impossible, or vice versa. Missions that I'm able to breeze through perfectly fine may be tough for you. So with all that being said, let's start with number 10. And I'll start this list with one of my favorite levels from Spyro 2, Metropolis. I mostly enjoy Metropolis. I love the level setting and the design of the NPCs. While this level's missions aren't exactly the worst, the missions where you chase a sheep UFO are a little bit annoying, but that's pretty much it. But the one challenge here that can really get to you, especially if it's your first time, is a boss fight with the Ox. Now the reason why this orb is so annoying to get is because of the ice physics from Spyro 2. Once you get on the ice, Spyro is on rails and all you can do is tilt him left to right and that's it. Not being able to control where you're going, it makes it pretty easy for you to accidentally bump into things that you didn't mean to, like the bombs that are all over the arena. And taking into account that the flame boxes on the bombs can be very questionable at times, this can be a pretty tough challenge to get through. But there's way worse to come, speaking of which. For his next mission, you need this robot farmer who needs these pumpkins in the middle of the road removed for him, but in order to do so, we need to get through the Supercharger gate to be able to remove them, and now this is where the problems begin. The main reason why this mission is so bad is the reignited trilogy's fault, and its fault for one thing. The Supercharger controls in this game aren't very good. Now they weren't perfect in the original, but here, Supercharger can feel really awkward at times. Even though it's a little bit buffed here, it won't save you from the controls. The turning physics are too heavy, and I don't know if it's just me, but when I tried to go the other direction, Spyro just decides to go the opposite. And it doesn't really help since every time you fail, you have to go through all the beads and windmills again to just get a second chance at it. This one's also pretty low because it's more irritating than difficult, and it's pretty tame compared to everything else on here. Yeah, you guys knew this was coming. The goddamn Alchemist mission. Now you might be wondering why this isn't at number 4 or number 3. Well, because this mission didn't really take as long as it did on my first try, but that doesn't make it any less annoying. Firstly, Spyro doesn't charge into enemies as hard as he should, and I have to mention that sometimes the Alchemist just likes to loop around the Earth Shapers even though he already get past it. And what's a serious flick in the nuts is that there's a mission with Hunter you need a headbutt to access it, so then you get the headbutt in Metropolis, and then you go back to Fracture Hills, only to realize you have to replay the Alchemist mission just to do the mission with Hunter. And another reason why this mission sucks is that the room he needs to get to Hunter is literally right next to him. It's almost like he's trying to get himself killed. I personally love the Speedway levels in Spyro 3. In my opinion, this is where the Speedways started to improve because they're more fun and I don't get as tense as I do with Spyro 1 or Ripto's Rages with Speedway levels. At least in the original. Yeah, I don't really like the Speedway levels in Reignited. And my least favorite would definitely have to be Harbor Speedway. Again, this level's difficulty is all because of the control. While you're flying, it's fine, but when you try to go into a speed boost or turn, you lose all mid-air control and start smacking everywhere. And combined with how tight the hitboxes are for the rings and for the other racers, and the fact that you can easily go into the water if you're going down for too long, it makes what would usually be a fun minigame into a complete chore to do. Bentley was a lot of fans' least favorite character to play as in the original Year of the Dragon. Personally, I think he's pretty fun to play as, but his short jump is disgusting though. But he probably has one of the most infamous challenges, and that would be his bossing challenge in Frozen Altars. Now, I was originally going to put the whack-a-mole minigame from Crystal Islands on here, but at least you don't have to do this one 4 fucking times. You need to get Bartholomew's ball back from the Yeti, and you have to box him for a ring, but I swear my low punches never connect, and also swear that he punches faster than you do, so it's really easy for him to combo me. It took me 7 times to finally beat this challenge, and I didn't even actually fight him, I just shoveled away every time I punched him. But yeah, this challenge may not be the worst, but it's definitely the worst Bentley mission so far. And the worst part of it all is that you never get his ball back.
Hey, this isn't my ball! It's just another stupid egg!
Sheila the Kangaroo is personally my favorite character to play as in the Year of the Dragon. She can jump high, kick while in mid-air, and has this ground pound, and I also love her redesign in Reignited. I really like how she has some actual details to indicate that she's a female, rather than her generic kangaroo design from the original. However, she does have this one mission in Spooky Swamp, and it's basically a reskin of the Alchemist Orb mission. That one challenge from Spyro 2 that nobody liked, but at least you can cheese that challenge by using the permanent super breath to kill all the Earth Shapers beforehand. But now you have faster NPCs and not being able to know where they're going. So what you have to do here is to guide these 2 bouncing numbnuts to blow up these 2 cages to get the egg. And what you have to do is stomp on these mushrooms so they can get through. The only problem is that they move so fast and the timing on the mushrooms are so precise too. If you try to ground pound on the mushrooms just before they can get through, guess what? You're fucked. And it doesn't really help that just like the Alchemist, they just feel like they should move through the same mushroom that you just stomped on. And this challenge makes even less sense than the Alchemist mission because unlike Spyro, Sheila has opposable thumbs. And every time you fail this mission and you hear this goddamn line over and over again. And also you have to do this twice since there's 2 eggs. Damn, this is a hard one. To be fair, this challenge difficulty isn't the Reignited trilogy's fault, because I remember having just as much trouble in the original that I did here, but I just couldn't leave this one off the list. The first part isn't too bad, but it's the second segment of this mission that gets on my list. What you have to do is flame these lava lizards before they eat the cavemen, but you have to memorize a pattern just so you can get the orb, and it does help that you can fall down a cliff if you're not careful enough. This challenge is mostly based off trial and error. Even then, you'll probably accidentally charge into one of the cavemen, and if you're not fast enough, you won't be able to flame the last lizard before you eat the caveman, and then you'll have to do it all over again. I probably spent at least 30 minutes on my first time, but while this mission may be tough, these final 3 challenges are probably some of my most hated challenges in the entire series. Alright, now we're getting to the top 3, and spoiler alert, 2 of them go to Year of the Dragon. So now we get to Scorch, and we made 2 of the cutest NPCs in the entire trilogy, Handel and Greta. Spyro needs to get all the flags back from Bombo, who was actually renamed Bob in the Reignited trilogy, but that's whatever. Now this challenge on its own doesn't sound that bad, right? But I swear he's so much more aggressive than he was in the original, and he can throw all these bombs that are really hard to dodge sometimes, and to add insult to injury, this is a 3-part mission, so you have to do this 3 goddamn times, and move further each time too. Sometimes the bombs can be very unpredictable because they can just bounce all over the place or just do nothing at all, and they're pretty hard to avoid too. However, to make it easier on yourself, you can just back away from them to have an easier time. But yeah, this one is frustrating, but we still have 2 more left. Okay, this is where the challenge starts getting rage-inducing. And Haunted from Year of the Dragon, you have to complete this contest with the tanks. But that wouldn't be too bad if the controls for the tank work didn't feel like complete ass. You have to blast all these guys, but the tank's controls are so slow and sluggish that you'll have more trouble turning around than trying to blast the other opponents. And even then, you'll probably be blindsided by them if you're not quick enough. There's also a chance that they can gang up on you and shoot you multiple times when you're completely defenseless. Some of these guys hide behind the pots, but when you get up close and personal to them, you're fucked. You won't be able to turn around and deal with the other guy that's behind the pod because you're too busy trying to shoot the other guy. This is one of the reasons why I couldn't fully complete Year of the Dragon on my first save file. Now I can get most of the dragon eggs no problem, but it still doesn't make this challenge any less easier. Alright, before we get to number 1, I just want to give out some quick honorable mentions, or dishonorable mentions, depending on how you look at it. These are basically for the challenges that didn't make the cut, or the challenges that other people had a problem with that I personally didn't. Versus the Whack-A-Mole challenge from Crystal Islands. This challenge was pretty hard to get through because of the most inconsistent hitboxes, the tight time, and the wizard's dumbass friends walking all over the place while I'm trying to fix the mole problem. But I decided to replace it with Bentley boxing instead because it was way more frustrating for me. The trolley mission in Breeze Harbor. Now this mission is pretty infamous among the community just because of this one line alone.
You shut the fuck up! 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 I hope you die in a fire! Shut!
Honestly, I didn't really have much trouble with this mission in Reignited. In fact, I beat it in my first try for this video. Sure, it's complete hell in the original, but with the fact that when you switch grind rails, there's a timing window for you to be able to judge where you're about to go, so I left it off the list. Paired riding with Hunter in his heist Speedway, so I was gonna put this one on the list, but then I eventually forgot about it. But now that I'm thinking about it, this mission isn't really that bad, although the only problem I have with it is that when you try to move left or right while Hunter is driving the other direction, it just kinda jerks you back to where you were before, but that's honestly it. The Crystal mission in Magma Cone. I'm gonna be honest, I actually like this mission. I thought it was pretty fun racing for Hunter to get the crystal before he did, but it seems like the majority of people don't really agree with me because I see a lot of people put this challenge pretty high in their lowest list. Even though I like it, I'll just put it here for now. All the Agent 9 missions. So yeah, Agent 9 isn't as stiff as he was in the original, but I still don't really like his missions though. I especially can't stand this one in Dino Mines in particular. It's so easy to get shot by the dinosaurs if you're not fast enough. But with all that being said, talk about my #1 worst orb/egg challenge in Spyro. So in Fireworks Factory, Handle tells you that you need to defeat these two twin dragons to get the dragon egg, and this probably might be my least favorite challenge in the entire series so far, and that really sucks because the Fireworks Factory is my favorite level in you're a dragon. Now this mission was already bad in the original, but when you take account of Reignited's worst flying controls, this challenge has the potential to last forever, plus your flame breath is so much more small in comparison to the original game. The dragons respond to their health so much faster than they did in the original. They have very skinny hitboxes, which also makes the fight last even longer, and I swear they're way more aggressive than they were before. They're able to combo me with their fireballs multiple times. This boss probably took up at least 10 of my lives when I played it for the first time, which makes getting the egg in this level the worst egg challenge in Spyro 3, but at the very least I don't have to do this any more than once because that would surpass the definition of painful from any Spyro game I played so far. So those are my top 10 worst Spyro or/egg challenges in Reignited. Let me know in the comments what you think are the hardest missions in Spyro 2 and 3, or tell me the missions that you actually like. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.